Zevlor's Sleep Stories. Performed by Glenn McCready.
Concerning Zurkhwood samples, written by Spiced Robot. Good evening, Blurg. Please come in. You are always welcome. But it is long past your normal hour of repose. Is something amiss? You cannot sleep. I understand. These extended periods of field research tend to weigh on the mind. Perhaps there is something I can do. A story? I am unsure I know any that are sufficiently pacifying. However, I can elucidate on the progress of my Zurkhwood samples. I have made some headway since last we spoke of them. You may lie down next to the fire if you wish. There is an extra bedroll for guests. Are you comfortable? Excellent. As you know, Zurkhwood has a plethora of uses. It is a large fungus that can grow upwards of 12 meters with adequate space and proper conditions. Its stalk is bark-like and durable, lending itself well to use as a building material. Underdark denizens often rely on it as a replacement for traditional wood, as most overworld trees struggle to grow in sunless environments. Zurkhwood stalk also has grooves, similar to the grain found in lumber, but with unique bioluminescent properties. It is quite captivating to the eye. I have often found myself studying these grooves during the sample collection process. Each cut reveals a tapestry of whorls, each centimeter patternless and distinctive. Yet, viewed together, they are part of an intricate network that allows it to flourish. The vibrance of the colors cannot be understated. Blooms, like infused spirit gems, rivaling the Susur bloom in magnificence. Gossamer purples, as bewitching as a field of Omeluum's tears over the Sword Coast. Of course, I lose my train of thought. Such is the power of observable phenomena to the scholars who study it. My research, as you may recall, does not concern itself with Zurkhwood as a lumber substitute, but with its use as an edible substance. A mature specimen grows sizable spores, as large as wheat grains. These spores, likewise, can be harvested and ingested. They are safe for many species to eat, but also contain traces of psychoactive compounds. Those unused to the spore-laden air of the Underdark may struggle to consume said spores without side effects. most notably drowsiness, fatigue, nausea, and feelings of fear or euphoria. At the beginning of my research, I too ingested these spores quite frequently. Thank you once again, my friend, for humoring me during that period. The poultices and gruels I created for testing were at times strange and often inedible. But it was all in the name of progress, I assure you. Yes, even that time. Harvesting the spores is no easy matter. It requires quick, dexterous hands. Too much pressure, and the spores will disperse into the air. Too little, and they will not release from the stalk at all. Within a few weeks, I developed my own harvesting method that utilized my tentacles. A gentle shake and twist motion which released several spores at once, optimal for quick and effective gathering. The spores, like the Zurkhwood's grooves, are bioluminescent. That property remains through the refinement process, and the end product tends to glow. Odd for many races, no doubt, but illithid are no strangers to odd sources of sustenance. Yet I get ahead of myself once again. Once harvested, the spores are ground down. This aids in digestion and increases the potency of the psychoactive compounds within. The result is something akin to flour. With leavening agents, it can be baked, though often in my haste for results, I used less time-intensive methods for preparation. Still, there was pleasure in the times we baked it into bread. You were kind to help then, too. I struggled to effectively knead the dough, but you are quite skilled. You excused my lack of culinary prowess, for one does not require it, having a diet such as mine. Like the Zurkhwood's grooves, there is a mesmerizing quality to the baking process. Repetition, careful attention to detail, a science all its own. The press and pull of the dough until proper elasticity is reached. A period of rest where you would often make tea. The smell of warm Turmishan joining the sweet, vaguely savory scents of the rising dough. And, of course, one cannot forget the aroma of the bread itself as it baked, robust, strangely soothing. How it filled the entire dwelling. Though the final product didn't satisfy in the way I had hoped, it still provided vital insights into Zurkhwood's many uses. I was also able to appreciate its flavor through you. A gentle, surface-level exploration of your thoughts as you cut and buttered a fresh, cooling slice. The fluffy and chewy texture, softer than any bread that makes it to the Myconid colony. And of course, the lulling of complex thought processes as the compounds took hold of you. A calming, gentle stupor that lasted for an hour or more. Since then, I have turned my attention to a different method. If consuming the Zurkhwood on its own does not provide proper sustenance, perhaps it can augment simpler minds into something robust enough to satisfy without a greater cost of life. Thus, my research has refocused on an unlikely source: livestock. There is a certain species of Mirabaran oxen that, once fed ground Zurkhwood spores, exhibit fascinating properties. Initial research has described these subjects as experiencing a heightened state of awareness, though the effects are limited, temporary, and hard to replicate. I have requisitioned the guild for purchase of several Mirabaran oxen for this purpose. I believe, with sufficient modification of Zurkhwood and a careful, selective breeding process of key samples, I may be able to create a sustainable food source that removes the need for higher minds in an illithid's diet indefinitely. Though isolating the samples and ensuring no cross-contamination is a difficult process, maintaining the health of the Zurkhwood as well as advancing my own research proves a delicate balance, requiring a precise, methodical approach. It is the nature of such trials to be frustrating, especially when the research is uniquely personal to my own well-being. But I am optimistic that in time I will be able to achieve my goal. And if not, what a wonder to advance my own research, to create a lasting legacy, to experience life free of the Netherbrain's influence.